Hello, my name is Cheryl Wilson. I'm an abstract artist, and I wanted to share with you a painting that I finished. It's an 18 by 24. I'm calling it Without a Trace. This painting is done with graphite and acrylics, and the acrylics are at different levels of thicknesses. I started with a very watery, I would say, that bled into the canvas, which I absolutely love when the paint does that. I did use a medium, and then I did use water with some, and then I built up the paint thicknesses so that I got some different looks of how the paint looked. I wanted this a very carefree, organic, flowing type painting. So if you're interested in seeing how I created this, keep watching and I'll show you and walk through the process for you. I started this 18 by 24 inch canvas with just drawing on it with a graphite pencil. Just random marks, I do that a lot. And then I use some, like a neutral gray paint. It's a Lucas paint. It's a gray paint from Lucas, and I added a matte medium from golden, I believe it was. There's different mediums you can add to your paint that gives it more of a flow. And what I was looking for, because this canvas came pre-gessoed, but I did not gesso on top of it, and by spreading the paint, which the Lucas paint is a thinner paint as opposed to out of a tube. It's not as thin as the golden fluid paints. And then there I'm adding water. It soaks into the weave of the canvas, which I love, that very, very organic look. If you don't like that, then you can gesso your canvas again one or twice before you start painting. But I wanted that look on the canvas. So I'm just using a tool to spread the paint in, drip the paint, and letting it soak into the canvas. So I get just a very watery, translucent, thin type of a background, an underpainting in this particular painting. I'm dabbing some of the painting with a paper towel. I have no plan when I'm doing this, but by using another scraper, some of the graphite that was on the bottom is now smearing, which again, it's a look that I particularly as an artist love. You could have put the graphite down or charcoal and put a fixative on top to keep it without smearing, but that's not a look that I particularly like as an artist. So I like everything to blend and muddy up, and the background, I wanted it to have this particular look. So here it is. It has dried, and I'm just taking a look at it to see, okay, what do I want to do next? I know I want to build layers onto the top of this. This is the underpainting, and I like the translucentness of what I have created. So I want to build thicker layers on the top. So I'm grabbing a very small palette knife, and I'm just adding some of the golden titanium white, the thicker, and I have no plan again. I'm just adding it in. I initially thought on this painting I may add some colors like ultramarine blue and maybe some a complement But as I was creating this, I love all the neutrals of the grays and the white and the black that came out. So that's why I kept it. Here is some of the Lucas that I added with a palette knife, and it is not quite as thick as the titanium white, so it goes on a little bit different. I'm not as familiar with the Lucas as I am with the other paints. Lucas is a new paint for me, so there is some experimenting that I'm doing here. I did get some dribble of the little cup of paint I had where I had a medium, so I just went with it and added some more. I like how the paints are interacting with each other. Some the thicker, some the thinner. They're just interacting and having fun playing with each other. And again, it's just in a very non-planned organic painting that I'm playing with the paint at this particular point. I am looking at shapes. I'm looking to see that the big gray underpainting is like a large shape in itself. The lines help give it some interest. And then the white shapes are, of course, smaller than the very large shapes, but I'm trying to make sure that I have a little bit of a different shape look in each of the shapes that I'm adding to the top of this painting. Now what you'll see me add next is I'm going to bring balance back in where I'm going to add more of a drippy paint. So I grabbed some of my black high flow, and I'm going to bring in, because I need a contrast here. I need something that is a different shape than the two white that I put down, and also a kind of a contrast in the colors, because everything there right now is kind of neutral and I need a pop. So I've decided to add some of the black into this. So you'll see me grab a palette knife and just drip in some of the black. So I'm looking at the painting at this point, and I know I want to add something additional because it's just very boring to me. So I'm looking at the different shapes, and I'm looking at the fact that it needed a contrast, and so that's why I'm adding in the black. And this is a high flow black paint from Golden. And I'm using the palette knife to just drip in the paint. Now I'm using some more of the gray paint that I added the medium, that is a very watery down, and just balancing back and forth between the black and the white. This is a high flow straight out of the bottle. I had to take the lid off because it gets clogged. And just balancing back and forth on the painting, looking to see where I want some light and dark, just to kind of give it interest, in my opinion, and still playing with it, blending it in. That's a type of a palette knife that I use to blend in some of the paint. The black high flow, some of it stays and some of it just saturates into where there may be some other paint. So I like the fact that it does that. It has almost its own dance on the canvas with the other paints that it blends with. So I'm just going to let you watch. This is just a very simple painting. I wanted to include it to show you because it's a little different style than what some of my other abstracts, but it's still a painting that's kind of fun, and there's still some techniques in here that I thought you might be interested in. So I'm just going to let you watch the rest of it, and then I'll do some close-ups so you can kind of see what it looks like after it has dried. It's just a very interesting painting that I can see framed and sitting in a room amongst a bunch of other very exciting colors. Because of the style that it is, it can blend with even a traditional style room. It's got that kind of colors that can blend in with any other styles, and just in my opinion. Before I show you up close, I added some white paper pieces just to see if I wanted to add some more large shapes, and I decided not to. I decided that I liked what I had. So I'm going to bring this up close and let you see some of the areas that I found interesting. And I hope you like this video. It's a short, a little bit more unusual than what I normally do, but the painting, in my opinion, I love the painting. It turned out very interesting, especially you can see where it has soaked into the canvas, and I wanted to share this with you in case it's a style that you may want to try yourself. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching.